Hello and welcome to Gamerhead Radio, episode 169. I am Jonathan Santiago, aka Fallon Flynn from Vias for Villains.
Oh God, I'm turning John down goat because he's a little loud.
And loud, that's because I'm screaming in your ear.
Yeah, you're killing
Um,
my gain here.
I'm killing your game or your
Gain.
gain. Oh, gain. I was just like, I can't possibly kill your game because you don't fucking have any.
Oh no, no, it's a
Um,
dead animal over here in
yeah,
the love
that's
department.
it's good. No love shack for you. So,
B-52 is this early?
no, it's too early. It's way too early.
You're
Um,
the one who said it.
I know, and the evening is young yet, so let's see where it takes us. So, tell me what did you do with your week, Goat?
Um, More Iron Curtain 2016. Even more the other night. Yeah, I really wish I could tell you what I've been really busy. I really have, but I can't tell anybody a damn thing about what I've been doing.
Well, yeah, yeah. Um, you've been working a lot on your band. For those at home that don't follow us regularly, Goat is also in a band. When he's not doing Gamerhead Radio and when he's not working with my brother and I in Views for Villains, he has his own awesome band, and they've been working on stuff for a long time. So um, that's coming down the pipeline. And then on the other side of it, I'll talk about what I've been doing for the last week, which ties into also kind of what you've been doing, which is there's a bunch of Views for Villains stuff coming down the pipeline like all at the same time in the next like 4 or 5 weeks. Everything that you guys have ever seen or known about this band is going to change dramatically, right? So we're debuting a new show at probably inside of the first week of second week, actually. I think at the end of the first week of July at Anime Midwest, we're going to be doing a brand new show, new costumes, and if everything works the right way, we're going to be playing our entire second brand new album from start to finish. And then if we have time, some of the other stuff that people know. So there's been a lot of discussion and back and forth talking about that with my brother and fellow bandmates. And, Goat, of course, because he's one of our stage managers. So there's that. Yeah. Yeah. That's everything I did this week. I had very little time for anything else. That and probably changed I don't even know how many fucking poopy diapers because my son is just a little shit beast, you know, shit beast. Hashtag shit fucking beast. But yeah, that was my week, man. Um, let's see here. So, um, now that you guys have a general idea of what it was that we did with our week, we're going to go ahead and talk about releases. Hopefully, there's a few video games coming out this week that everybody wants to play, since that's what this show is about. So let's talk about that here coming up. According to Kotaku, for the coming week here, there is probably going to be nothing. No, that's not true. So Tuesday, May 31st, Witcher 3 Blood and Wine DLC is coming out for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the PC. One Piece Burning Blood for PlayStation 4, Xbox One is going to be out. Dead Island Definitive Collection for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, which is really weird because even though it's the definitive collection, it does not have Riptide in it. Dead Island Riptide, which is the sequel to the original Dead Island. I don't understand why.
Well, Riptide has its own definitive
Yeah,
collection.
yeah. Hitman Episode 3 Marrakesh is going to be out for PlayStation 4 Digital, Xbox One Digital, and PC. Score Rush Extended is going to be out for PS4. There came an Echo for PlayStation 4, Xbox One Digital, PC, and Mac. Daydreamer Awakened Edition for PlayStation 4 Digital and Xbox One Digital. Friday, June 3rd, Carmageddon Max Damage for PlayStation 4, Xbox One Digital. Dangerous Golf. Dangerous Golf. How the fuck dangerous could golf be unless you got like a meth head on the field swinging a club at you, man? For PlayStation 4 Digital and Xbox One
Clearly, you've never
Digital.
played
And
golf.
no, I've never fucking played golf. I mean, like mini golf. And I was pretty drunk the last time I played it. So I don't
That's
even want
see, and big person golf gets really dangerous if you're really drunk.
I can imagine. Hard Reset Redux for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and PC. So that's everything for this coming week. It's kind of slim pickings leading up to E3 announcements. Yeah.
Yeah, it's E3 announcements. Like, what the? Nobody's gonna put anything out worth a damn right
I'm
now.
gonna take a second to say hello. It's like I normally we don't normally don't do this during the show, but I'm actually live streaming from my YouTube account. It's a stream within a stream. We're doing streamception here, so you can see. Oh, wait, there it is.
Don't cross the streams, John.
Yeah, don't cross the streams. No, I'm not gonna do that. To the nice people who are watching through my Facebook channel. If you want to participate in what we're doing here on the show live, follow the links in my description on this Facebook video, and you can watch
We
this
have
on
a
Hangouts or
yeah.
YouTube
We have
live.
a Q&A section. You can get right in
Yes,
on it.
Goat saying that we have a Q&A
Oh, that's right.
section.
They can't hear
So
me.
they can't hear you because I'm
Yeah.
clearly just a fucking crazy
Yes.
person talking to myself. We have a Q&A section. If you guys want to participate in our stupid video game show and bullshit and talk about video games with us, feel free to do so. For now, though, everybody watching, thank you for tuning in on the live stream. I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. Just follow the links and come have hangs with us, man. Drink beer and talk about video games. That's what we're going to do. Cheers. So
On
that's
to the show
that's
without the
right.
other show.
The other show. We just want to make sure nobody gets left out, man. We want to entertain you. That's why we do this every week. So we've been doing this every week for well, I've been doing it for a year and a half. You and Charlie are coming up on year 4 here coming up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Madness. So
100 and some
um,
change.
what did you play this week, Goatly?
Let's see. What did I play? A little Diablo. It's been a weird week because, again, I'm still in that weird where I'm busy as shit. So I'm kind of plugging video games in where I can. And I've hit that wall where nothing story wise has really intrigued me. So, like, you've been in those weird times though, where you're just like, no,
Oh yeah.
I don't want to commit to something like that. So I started Ori and the Blind Forest, and I don't know if that's gonna continue or not. It's
Really?
cool, but it's like I don't think it's a game for me right now. I need to come back to it later.
As
It's like,
much as everybody has praised it though, as much good feedback as everybody's
mm.
given that game, you don't think that you're gonna
Well, no. I think I'll
finish it
go
up?
back to it later. It's just not for me right now, is what I'm saying. Like, it looks
Oh,
good.
okay.
It plays great. It's just not the flavor I'm looking for in my life right now. Does that make sense?
What is it that you feel is maybe putting you off of it right now?
The save points. The fact that you have to remember to save.
Really?
Yeah, like you can save wherever you want, but you have to remember where to save or when to save. Well, it's too deep of a game for the 9,000 things that are on my mind already. Does that make
Too much of
sense?
a fucking commitment. Not
Yeah.
acceptable, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, I got like 9,000 things going on. It's one of those games you have to actually use your head for, and I'm like, mine's already spent by the time I get to this video game console. Not gonna work.
Yeah.
So I went back to Diablo. I'm up to like 350 of the 500 bounties I need to finish. Pushing 250 paragons. No big excitement there. And then I went back to a fan favorite of mine, Forza 5. Because, well, hey, it's race cars and literally zero commitment in story.
That is absolutely true.
And I
Which
haven't finished it.
ties into the show later because we're going to talk about it later. But
Yeah.
we'll do some race car,
Yeah.
some race car business.
So, yeah, I put a whole bunch of hours into that and I completely forgot how big it was. Like, I got into it and I was like, I gotta put this down. It's going to take forever. I got back into it and I'm like, oh my God, I've put like 10, 12 hours in this thing and I think I'm at like 15% completion. Yeah, I was like,
Madness.
all right, they've gotten bigger since 4. I remember this now. But other than that, that's about it. It was a real light week. Like I said, I've been just other places.
See, I've had kind of the same thing a little bit too with not wanting to do anything terribly committal when it comes to gaming. Just because Metal Gear Solid 5, as awesome as it was, as much fun as I had playing it, it really ate up a shitload of time. And I still would like to go back and continue to play it, but I have so many other things that I want to finish that I kind of feel like if I don't make my way to other games, everything is going to end up on the backlog, and I don't want to do that because there are some really good games that came out, at the end of 2015 that I still want to finish. It's just that there were so many like open world games that came out, Fallout, and Assassin's Creed, and
Oh yeah,
just so many Witcher.
Witcher's in there. Yeah.
I just finished
Well,
that.
and they just put out 30 more hours of Witcher for you.
You know what? I can't think about it. I can't think about it. It's going to give me an extreme drinking problem. So he says as he sips his beer.
Yeah, I still
Um,
can't wrap my head around that. The fact that the new DLC is 30 more hours of Witcher.
Oh my! Well, here's the one thing I will say is that I know a lot of people go, I don't need that much fucking game. Why would I do that? That's too much game. Realistically, at least if you're gonna pay for the DLC, at least you know you're getting a bang for your buck. Like you're getting your money's worth out of it because you'll play it until you can't stand the sight of it anymore. So to me, that's good DLC.
Oh
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
like here's like multiplayer like shooter map with
Yeah.
here's 3 maps and 2 guns and maybe a couple skins for something and
Yeah.
a tag. You know what I mean? Like I don't, it doesn't do anything for me.
Personally, I'm very jealous of Witcher 3 players because if they're really into it,
Hmm.
they haven't had to buy a game in a year now.
Oh, that's true. Like if you wanted to just buy that game and play it, casually, an hour here, an hour there, you could probably play that game for a couple of years and not get
Yeah.
through it. If you were just playing every now and again. So definitely get your money's worth out of it. I'm firm in my
Hmm.
belief that even though as a father now and as busy as I am with all these things that I'm doing, like I don't necessarily have time for a 200 plus hour game. I can fucking make time. You understand?
It's a
Like,
bank account saver.
son, wipe your own ass. No. And one day it will happen, and he'll do it, and I'll be like, "Yay!" Now come play video games with your old man. Um,
But wash your hands first.
yeah, but please don't touch the controllers until you wash your hands. Nasty little boy. Um, yes, but anyways, so my week was fairly fun for gaming. I got a little bit more time in than I had originally anticipated. So one of the last characters for Killer Instinct Season 3 came out on Thursday. It was Gargos, who is like the big end boss character that they've been building up to for the last 2 seasons. Excuse me. And he's awesome. Like he's a really big um, winged demon with horns and he just looks insane. He's huge too. He's really, really tall
So
compared to
he's a
most of
boss
the
in a
others.
fighting game.
Yeah, he is clearly. And then they've done this with all the Killer Instinct characters, but they put his retro skin in there because he was the end boss for Killer Instinct 2 back in I think 96 or
We'll call it the
97.
1900s.
Yeah, I think it was 96 when it came out. And so they made his retro skin and it looks fucking great. Like they did everything really, really right with it. The only thing they flubbed to me is they're only putting 3 new maps in for 3 of the characters in the game, and then the rest of the characters like Gargos doesn't get a map. um
Well, but why would he get a
Rash,
map?
what's that?
He's a boss. Why would he have a
No,
map? He
he
has
well he
one
had he had his own
stage.
in previous games, and they've usually given every character in these games their own map.
Oh,
So it's kind of disappointing. The thing with Killer Instinct is it's like a for people who don't play this fighting game or who don't give a shit about fighting games. I'm sorry if I'm boring you with Killer Instinct stuff, but this game, part of the reputation that Killer Instinct has always had from the start of its series was there were 3 ingredients that made that game great. One, that the 3 elements that make the game are all just as much of a character as the characters themselves. So the character, their level, and their music, because they all have their individual like song or theme that goes with their level. And
yeah.
the the only way I can explain it to you in a way that makes sense, always made sense to me as a kid, is the music for the level sounds like the level looks, and the sound and music together embody the look of the character. So those 3 things together always kind of came together to make that game stand out always. And this one is no exception, fortunately, after so many years of it not being around. So I was bummed to hear that Gargos isn't getting his own map. The Battletoads guest character Rash did not get his own map.
Oh,
The brand spanking new character that they just made for the game, which is like a vampire character named Mira, she's not getting her own map. And then there are still 2 characters to be released. I think one of them is they said they got leaked is General Rom from Gears of War. Is one of the locusts from the first Gears of War, which I think that's pretty fucking cool. And then the other character they have not confirmed, but everybody's expecting it to be a super old character, first Killer Instinct named Idol, that was like 2-headed, ogre type thing. I don't know. He would make up the last original Killer Instinct character that hasn't been featured in this new game. So I hope that that's what they do, and I'm okay with it if they do. So I played a bunch of that just to test the character out. It was really neat. In line with everybody else, that game is just it's to me has been one of the most um, fulfilling video games I've played in the last couple of years because it did everything that I wanted it to do and did not disappoint me in the process. So I was expecting that game to be a tremendous and colossal failure. I waited like 16, almost 17 years for them to make it, so I was expecting it to suck, and it did not.
and
Um,
your gamer score definitely reflects that sentiment.
yes, that is correct, sir. It also this week I also played a long time back. I started it. I restarted it. It was a gift on the Steam store from Danny Meckler, one-time B Squad co-host, Mr. Danny Meckler. Thank you for the game, Danny. It was Talos Principle, which was released on Steam and PlayStation 4. Was not released on any other platform that I'm aware of. I believe though, it is so fucking cool, man. It is just spiritually has a lot in common with Portal because it's a thinky puzzle game, but not just thinky in the puzzles, thinky in terms of the way it presents itself. It's like an existential thing where you're a robot solving all these puzzles that aren't really like Portal puzzles. It's more of a like choice between heaven and hell, like struggle of spirituality kind of game and existence. Like, am I a person? Am I not? If I am a person, what makes a person a person? So it's a really cool game and it's unique. I've never played anything quite like it before. I highly recommend to anybody that can get their hands on it and try it. It's just a lot of fun and it's the first thing I've played in a while that engrossed me because it's original. It doesn't feel like anything else. It feels like its own thing, which I needed a dose of. So I played a lot of that. Played a little bit of DC Universe Online, which I'm kind of winding down on. I think I'm going to put that away. And there was a free trial for Unravel, which was that little kind of indie side-scrolling game where you're the little guy made of yarn that looks like he kind of has
Yeah,
like little horns.
I got that.
Oh my god, I want it. It was
I
so
told you
fucking
guys to get
charming.
it when it came out.
Oh my god, it was so fucking charming.
Yeah, it's addicting and very difficult.
Relaxing though. It was so
Mhm.
like relaxing. I'm sure it'll
the,
piss me off later, but
the graphics are through the roof.
oh my
It's
god, that was the other thing. Is I mean, given that it was an arcade quality title, maybe they were able to focus some of the maybe some of the polish into it in a way that a lot of games don't get when they're on a more grand scale. But holy shit, it
yeah.
looks outstanding.
I don't know. I know. I think they polished the shit. I don't know what polish they used on it, but it was phenomenal. Like I'm
Yeah.
not a big graphics person, as the listeners know, and
Mhm.
that one immediately I was like, damn, those are some graphics.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. And very pretty ones too. So
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, that's I think everything I had time for this week. I want to say I tried to play one or two other things, but I just didn't get around to it. I'm trying to just pick one thing and stick with it for a little while and just get through this
Yeah.
backlog of games that I've got looking at me. I did not buy Overwatch this week, even though it was out. I wanted to buy it really, really fucking bad. But a little birdie told me that my son would be getting it for me for Father's Day. So don't fucking buy anything. I was told. So I'm gonna hold off on that.
Way to ruin the present, Luca.
I know. It's okay. My son really cares. He really knows what I like. He's a year and a half old, and
We were in Target. I went to grab it. He slapped my hand. He goes, "This is not a wise decision, father."
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's awesome. That's it, man. Were it that I had more time to play games this week, I would have played until my eyes bled, but I did not do that and could not do that. So now that you know what we did in video games this week, let's take a look at what the industry did in video games this week. So mixed bag of news for the week. Goat, we got some goodies. It was quiet, but some interesting things went down. So
Are you
uh,
digging deep yet?
no, not yet, not just yet.
You're not grabbing people on the side of
But
the street
I
going.
can be.
You're not
Um,
grabbing people on the side of the street going, "Have you heard anything about video games? Is there
no,
anything? You got anything for me?"
yeah, running around shaking people, Kyle Reese style. What year is it? Fucking Terminator style. Um, no, starting off at number 5 this week. So Mighty Number Nine, which is the brainchild of Keiji Inafune, creator of Mega Man, and everybody says the spiritual successor. Just to catch everybody up who may not be aware,
Very
um,
spiritual.
that game has so spiritual it ripped the soul right out of Mega Man. Um, that game has been delayed a lot, tons and tons and tons. And I think started out as a Kickstarter project, if I
Mhm.
recall correctly, because
Yes.
small amount of backstory. Keiji Inafune, like a lot of game developers that built something that helped build a company, like Capcom and Mega Man are synonymous. A lot of the people who make those products don't really get to keep control over those things, and they kind of wouldn't let him make any more Mega Man games the way that he wanted to. So he made a new property that's very Mega Man, and took it elsewhere. Well, Deep Silver, the company that published the Dead Island games, was doing the marketing for this, and they put out. I don't even know how to describe it to you. The trailer that they put out for this game was just the fucking worst, man. It was so embarrassingly bad. We'll see if we can get the link for that up in the published episode for the week on our website, so that if you guys want to find it, you can watch the YouTube video. But part of what was so interesting about this entire thing was that
Well, we would
the
screen share it, but we don't get audio. So if anybody's asking,
yes,
that's why
yes,
we're not
yes,
showing you here.
that's correct.
And
That's
you need
correct.
audio for it.
But yeah, this is different.
It's it's tag team thing.
So the thing that went kind of interesting about it is with a little bit of the negative sort of press that the game's gotten for pushing back its release. Um, this trailer is like people hate it. Like people are making a lot of fun of it. Currently has 363,000 views, 14,200 of which are dislikes. So a mighty chunk, no pun intended,
I
of
think it
them fucking hate it.
I think it beat Infinity Ward now.
Oh no, it's not quite there yet. No,
No,
that's a fucking extreme amount of
I
dislikes.
thought it was close to that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm half tempted to share the photo that you put up on the Players Club. Actually, I'm gonna while I finish the story, go look that up. See if you can pull that up and throw it up there because I think it's the funniest thing in the world. Um, the funny thing about this story is that the developers for Mighty Number Nine, who are not doing any of the promotion, they paid Deep Silver to do that shit for them, all the marketing. They're making fun of it too. So Takuya Aitsu, CEO of Intel Creates, deemed the trailer unforgivable on his Twitter account. Um, he even like when he was quoting the entire thing, the direct quote from his Twitter account says, "What the hell was Deep Silver thinking making a crappy PV like this?" And they mean promotional videos, what PV is abbreviated for. Unforgivable, he wrote. We can possibly assume that all of the bad press that surrounded this, that this might actually kind of be a funny thing for the game, because even though the trailer's fucking terrible, when the development team gets on board with it and starts making shit up, or making fun of the shit, then it's kind of funny, I think. From what I understand, the trailer is just really obnoxious. Like when I watched it made me go cross-eyed, man. I still cross-eyed. I can't feel I can see straight. Um, so check it out. We'll post up the link and see what you guys think. Goat, do you think that bad promotion like this, in an instance like this where it's got people laughing, do you think that this is bad for the game if the developers are kind of poking fun at it too? Or do you think it's going to hurt the game's sales, or do you think that this is kind of a backwards boon?
Well, I don't know. I think they've kind of shot themselves in the foot with all the delays and everything like that. I mean, it's going to be a literal spiritual successor because nobody will ever see it at this point. So backing up with crappy trailers is not helping that.
Do you have any interest in Mighty Number Nine when it's supposed to be released?
Yeah, because it looked really good, and I hope it pans out. But it's slowly getting on my list of if instead of when.
If well, no, they're saying it's supposed to be out soon. It's just
Been saying that
at
for
this
what, a
point,
year
what's a
now?
couple more months? I mean, really, is it going to kill anybody to wait a couple of more months to get their hands on Mighty Number Nine? The only thing that baffles me about this game is I hope that all the extra time has been to just fine tune it, maybe. Because what the fuck? How long? I think this has been in development for like 3 years or something. What takes this long to make a side scroller, a Mega Man style side scroller? I'm not sure that I understand why that is like that, but it's
Yeah, I don't
okay.
know either.
All right, moving on though. Number four this week. Speaking of Mega Man, um, there's supposed to be a new Mega Man animated series coming out shortly here. So the distributors DHX Media and Dentsu Entertainment have given everybody a first look at Mega Man. And this one, I'm going to screen share in just a minute here. According to the description for the press release, it says the series will star a young and otherwise normal robot named Aki Light with a secret power. He can become Mega Man. What the fuck is this shit? The world's first
I
robot
don't know.
superhero. Set in Silicon City, the series showcases Aki's struggle to maintain his superhero duties on top of his everyday life. He'll be joined by familiar characters like Rush, along with newcomers with names like Mega Mini. That's what I call my son. Or no, wait, no, that's something. That's what I call the poops after I go to the bathroom. Mega Minis.
Well, I guess it's better than your penis.
They're saying that they're wait, what did you say? Jesus Christ, I rolled right over that. Both companies are
Just
targeting.
saying, he probably wouldn't be a happy married man
I would not be a happily married man. I can tell you that for sure.
with a Mega Mini. I don't think it would work
With
out
my
for you.
very own Mega Mini with my son. That's what I mean. Um, both companies have said that they're actually targeting elementary school aged kids in order to sell this show. So, but based on the description of it being in like Silicon City and it's some
Whoa.
thing that has nothing to fucking do with Mega Man, they're actually people are making fun of it because this character design looks like Mega Man Tron. It's kind of shit. So I'm gonna screen share and show you guys what this looks like. And for anybody who's listening to the audio version of the podcast, it's very easy to find this online, or you should be able to find this in the news story that we're providing the link for this week. Man, it is just kind of garbage. I think everyone's making fun of his little Tron looking everything, like all the little soft blue lines and places. But I don't know. What do you think of this, Goat?
Nice.
What do you think?
It's I don't. I mean, everything else is getting remade. Whatever. As long as it's not Sonic Boom, I think we're in the good here.
Yeah, well, anything's fucking better than Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom. I
Exactly.
I think Sonic Boom might have nearly single-handedly ruined, um, you know, might have single-handedly ruined uh, Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, there's I guess really no other way to say it. But I mean, we'll see whether or not Sonic ever makes a return. But something tells me it's probably not going to end up well. So
Mm-hmm.
moving on to number 3 this week. So we kind of talked about a few weeks back. We made brief mention of the fact that Overwatch has generated a lot of attention for its character designs. Some of that has turned out to be kind of a negative thing. As it turns out, there is a massive sub community of people who have latched onto both male and female characters for the purpose of creating pornographic Overwatch everything. A lot of this is popping up on the internet and has been for the last few weeks. There seem to be like people gravitating towards particular characters that I don't know, find attractive. I don't really know how else to fucking say it. Um, well, as it turns out, Pornhub, particularly when we mentioned this originally, Pornhub kind of seems to have been the ones to latch on to the concept. A lot of people are going to Pornhub to search for Overwatch porn. When the beta was out a few weeks ago, everybody went there and they like Pornhub reported some massive spike in searches for particular Overwatch characters. Well, Overwatch being what it is, especially in its first week, being a huge success and kind of being like a superhero type game, themed game, and kids maybe wanting to be involved with it. Blizzard is serving takedown notices left and right for the the Overwatch porn videos. They're using a company called Erdetto to send these notices out to basically whoever is hosting these Overwatch porn videos. Um, and Erdetto themselves say that their services protect the digital platforms and assets across multiple industries, such as media and entertainment, payments, and automotive. Um, I can imagine that Blizzard probably wants to protect this IP because it's the first like brand new IP they've put out in a long time, and it's a hit. Do
Mm-hmm.
you think they're going to be able to successfully scrub the filthy Overwatch dirtiness from the internet?
Probably not. It's the internet.
Do you have any interest in watching filthy Overwatch videos, Goat?
No, I have zero interest in fan fiction whatsoever. I can mostly blame the villains, and the other half is just fan fiction. I don't get it. I
No, this is
some
not
of the
fan
shit I've
fiction. This
heard.
is to be clear for anybody listening. Not that
Mm.
you would necessarily want to patronize these services. I'm so glad Charlie's not on this episode. He's gonna when he listens back to it, he's gonna cringe. Um, it's these are people who take like character models
Mm-hmm.
from mods and stuff like that, and then use like Gary's mod or whatever other animation suites they want to use to animate these characters to do filthy ass shit after they've been reskinned for modding purposes into naked people. So it's almost like watching the character models do really dirty things.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people feel the need to do this. This happened. Something similar to this happened a few years ago with Bioshock Infinite with Elizabeth. People, people, people really kind of did this kind of unsavory shit with characters from this game, and I don't understand why people do this. I mean, I get it. I understand. I mean, I get it, but it just don't do it, man. You know,
Rule 34.
think about the people. Well, let me put it to you like this: if you made a character for a game, like,
Yeah.
or let's just say you made a character, period, for a book or a comic or a movie or whatever you had planned to do. Say that you put your heart and soul into that character. That character sees release in whatever format you were planning to put it out, and then somebody takes it and perverts it for nefarious purposes. Wouldn't you kind of feel like they took your idea and kind of like fucked it up? Is that wrong? Like, I don't know. I think that's kind of shitty.
I don't care enough. People are gonna do it anyways.
Mm.
People won't pay for movies and music. Like, why would I be shocked that they're gonna take my character and make it fuck a cucumber? I like.
Nope.
I almost expect it from the human race.
Ooh, fucking cucumbers. Go Jesus Christ, man. For anybody who's just joined the show, this is the portion of the show where Goat talks about fucking a cucumber.
Not me. My character.
Oh, good save. Good save. Before this gets
My
creepy,
IP's getting banged by a cucumber.
let's go, well, let's just fucking move on because there's really no way to recover from that kind of
No. No.
train
Let's move
derailment.
this. Let's move this salad along.
Oh, don't want to talk about it. All right, moving on to number 2 for the week.
Oh wait. Before that, I found the
Yes.
image you were talking about. I'm going to
Goat's gonna screen share. This
my
is
screen share.
what the internet seems to think right now about Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, or what they anticipate. This is an actual leaked screenshot from from Call of Duty Infinite Warfare right
Yes.
now.
Live leaked.
Oh man, look at that! It's so fucking lifelike, man. You can almost
Mhm.
reach out and touch it, man.
Yeah, I like that. There's a car fender in here. I
We
think
should have covered this on our VR episode. You know, you can practically smell the garbage.
Oh yes.
Look at it. All right, now moving on to number 2, since we talked about the garbage. Haven't had a hostile takeover in a while, so I guess it's just time. But probably, maybe, arguably, one of the biggest mobile game developers on the planet right now is Gameloft. Even if you don't play mobile games on cell phones and tablets, chances are you've seen the name or seen the logo at some point. Gameloft is huge. Vivendi is moving forward with a hostile takeover of Gameloft. So apparently they've already won support over Gameloft and are going to be taking over various aspects of the company because they bought out the majority shareholders, like you do during a hostile takeover. And I mean, we've seen this a few times during the history of gaming. This happened years back with Electronic Arts tried to do a hostile takeover of Rockstar. Take Two, and I think Ubisoft. Electronic Arts tried to fucking forcibly buy everybody, and it didn't work. I think they did end up taking a lot of Ubisoft shares, but not enough to sway their overall direction and things. But it's pretty unfortunate. Do you think that this is just business? Do you think this is just business as usual, or do you think that this is something that's going to be people are going to frown upon this and it's going to affect Vivendi negatively? How do you feel about this stuff, Goat?
A little bit here and there. I kind of tuned out for a second there. You want to recap for me? To be very honest, I was dealing with something on the audio side, my side.
That's how professional of a show we run here, ladies and gentlemen. I talk and Goat's supposed to listen, and we just go.
Well, something was going on with my rig over here, and I was moving knobs and pulling levers.
No worries. We're all good. So
I'm
yes,
going for quality, John.
I know.
Quality.
I know. This is a
not quantity.
Fucking professional show, man. I got to tell you. So as far as this goes, what I was asking was, do you think that this type of hostile takeover stuff is just business as usual, or do you think this is going to be bad for Vivendi, bad for Gameloft? What's your take on this, Goat?
So wait, isn't Vivendi taking over Ubisoft, or did?
No. Vivendi is not taking over Ubisoft. They're trying to take over Ubisoft. We talked about this a little bit ago.
Okay.
They're
I
setting their
didn't know.
sights. Yeah.
I did another after Gameloft. Okay, so
Mhm.
Vivendi's coming out of this with somebody in their pocket. That's
Mhm,
their
mhm.
goal here. Okay.
Yeah, I don't. I maybe it seems like they're just swinging for the fences and they're gonna absorb whatever they can get their
Yeah.
hands on.
They're, they're
Um,
they're coming home. They're coming home to mommy with a new puppy called a video game company. Got it.
Viewer Dustin Falconer. Dustin, thank you for informing me that my audio was a bit low. I've corrected that for you. I appreciate it, buddy. For anybody who's watching too, if you guys have any commentary or any
Production
thoughts
notes.
on what it is that we're talking about, feel free to join the conversation. If you join us in our Hangouts chat, you can actually send questions and answers to us, and we can answer them live on the show. Otherwise, you can go to our YouTube live stream and just leave comments on the YouTube video, and I'll be checking that periodically to try and answer comments as we do the show. So participate all you'd like. Um,
Yes.
my
To
opinion.
answer your question,
Yes, go ahead.
to answer your question, John. Yeah, I think it's not bad for business. It's just business. I mean, but it sounds like I don't know. It sounds like the weirdness when Amazon picked up what was it, Helix? I think somebody just wants a shiny new puppy at home to call video game
But
developer in their
that
stable.
wasn't a hostile takeover when Double Helix was purchased. Double Helix completed their
Well,
contract
yeah,
on season one Killer Instinct and opted to go to Amazon to
yeah.
develop games for them,
I
which
mean, yeah,
hasn't turned out so.
but there's also there's also adopting a puppy and there's also stealing your neighbor's prized dog. I mean, you still have a dog at the end of the day here. How you go about it is your business.
Hmm.
So, I mean, hostile takeover, whatever. I think that's a little overdone. I think it's more of from a business standpoint, yeah, it's hostile, whatever, sure. It's more business and we can overtake you and we're getting rid of you as competition by just buying you.
Fair enough.
Like the pretty woman thing. I'm gonna date myself there.
I understand why somebody would try to do something like that, especially at the height of mobile gaming right now, where things have kind of that industry's established. The trends in that industry are where
Oh
they're
yeah.
at and likely to stay for a little while. The thing is I think I miss the period in time where gaming was still fairly new and you didn't have people fighting over the properties. You just had people making good things. You just had people trying to put out make new properties, produce new properties, and put new properties out. I mean, really, it's hard to explain this to people who didn't grow up in the what I jokingly refer
Back
to
when
as the
yeah.
golden age of gaming. But
Back when it
Goat,
was still an art and not a business.
yeah, Goat and Charlie and I were really, really lucky to grow up in a time where
It was a new thing.
gaming was not just about making a game selling. It wasn't just about selling copies of the game. It wasn't even about making DLC for a game. It was about trying a bunch
Well,
of strange stuff. Like it.
they made
The
DLC,
amount
John, when we
of
were kids. They just
what,
made the
what
same game
DLC?
again and put a two behind it.
Yeah, I suppose. But like after a while, you caught on and you just didn't buy those games
Yeah.
anymore.
It took
It's
you
not
7
like
or
that
8
now.
games.
Like people haven't caught on to the fact that if you buy the newest edition of Madden, you're buying the same fucking game every year. You know what I mean? Just with
Well,
a
Madden's
couple
a
of
bad
tweaks here and
example
there.
because they want the new rosters. They're
Then
sports nuts.
then Assassin's Creed. I mean, and people finally started to catch on,
Yeah, yeah.
because now they're taking a break, whether they're only taking
Hmm.
this year off or 2 years off. It caught up to them, and the point is that gaming used to be about it was a frontier. It was a brave new world, an unexplored thing, um, where you got to just try
Whoa.
crazy things, and it worked.
Sorry. Yeah,
The
I
amount
just
of what's that?
caught Dustin's comment here and he threw me off. It should be about the game itself, the gore, the story, and the gameplay. I like the gore was the first thing in his list.
It's true. It's true. Dustin went. He went from zero to murder in
Yeah.
two
I think it's
two
safe to say
seconds.
he's playing the new Doom as we speak.
He is playing the new Doom. Actually, he had messaged me and asked me about whether or not I've had a chance to play it. I
Mm.
have not had a chance to play the new Doom yet. It's on my bucket list just because Mick Gordon did the composition for it. Honestly, I just want to hear his awesome music.
From what I've seen of it, it's worth it.
Yeah, I hear mostly good things about it. I hear mixed reviews about the multiplayer aspect of it, but I actually I'm glad to hear that it gave you a chubby. Dustin says that Doom gave him a chubby. That's disturbing, man. um, but I'm really really glad.
Well, that just ties back into the last story with the. Never mind.
We've moved on. God damn it. I'm glad to hear that they did like an Unreal style thing with the multiplayer, but I don't know. People are it's mixed. People are saying some people are saying it's
Oh
awesome,
yeah.
some people are saying it's not. It just depends, I guess. But we have strayed far from the path as we tend to
Yes.
when we're talking
Yes.
about silly things. Oh, before I get off my fucking soapbox, the point was
Yeah.
we grew up in a video game revolution where they just tried all kinds of crazy things. We got to experience all these really unique things, risks. People took risks because they could, and now the industry is formed into this thing where there's a lot of rules. Maybe one day we could do
I,
a show talking about how the process of game development works, but it's really, really
mhm.
rigid for the people that work in that business. And now you can't take risks because you're risking other people's money, and they don't want to take risks with their money. So
I still blame the internet.
I blame the internet for a lot of shit, but we could do a whole
Hmm.
fucking show on what I blame the internet for. Um, so instead of doing that, let's go ahead and move on to number one for the week. So
All right.
probably the most consistent thing that we heard during the course of the week with news was that No Man's Sky, which was supposed to receive a June 21st release in just a few weeks, has been pushed back one more time. While that's not particularly news in and of itself, because they only just pushed it back to August 9th. It's You're talking about a couple of weeks, 2.5,
5.
weeks. What's that? Oh,
5 weeks.
July. Jesus Christ.
July's is in the middle between
Yeah,
June and
I
August. I
got
don't know
like
how your
3
calendar
hours
works.
of sleep last night. I'm fucking struggling. Man. Um,
And
they,
apparently not enough to remember July exists.
yeah, fuck it. We don't need July. I'm only debuting a brand new fucking VS Villain show in
Yeah.
July, aren't we? So,
That comes after August in John's calendar.
yes, that's correct. John's calendar looks a lot like what happens if you take a calendar and put it in a blender and then put a bunch of fruit and maybe some poop in there and blend it up. That's what my calendar looks like all the time. Is a poop smoothie. Um, Hashtag poop smoothie. Let's hashtag that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, let's
let's
do
do it.
that.
That's true. For your health.
Yes.
Um, can we please God call the episode poop smoothie this week?
Charlie's not here to say no.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Um, Charlie, I'm so sorry if we name the episode "Poop Smoothie." He's just he's rubbing his head. He's on a flight right now. He's rubbing his head right now, and he doesn't know why. But when he listens to the episode, it's going to make sense. We're time traveling on the show right now. Um, well,
We've been doing really good. I mean, we did have the
yes,
haggis last
yes,
week, but I wasn't
but
involved in it.
we've behaved. We've behaved quite well
Hmm.
while Charlie's been gone. So
So we got 5 weeks delay on No Man's Sky.
that's true.
What does that mean for us other than the fact that yet
Well,
another game in the history of gaming has been delayed? Nobody cares anymore.
it's not so much that there was a delay. That's not a problem. Games get delayed all the time. What seems to be the problem with this delay is that the creator of the game, who works for Hello Games, Sean Murray, he received death threats. Man, like people were fucking threatening
Yeah.
this man's life to a point where it really made him uncomfortable. And if you've read or know or heard anything about Sean Murray, he's widely regarded as being a very very peaceful, very pacifistic man. He was trying to make this game so that it didn't have any combat or even weapons in it, and that's not practical for the type of game he's making. So he had to put something in. Um,
That's what
but
there's foam bats.
he's widely regarded as a very peaceable human being, right? And he was uncomfortable enough to actually post to some measure of humor on Twitter saying, oh, I'm sorry. He said that he transformed his house from a home into a home alone, complete with pillow fortresses and other makeshift traps. He said, "Tell me when it's safe to remove the marbles and oil from the stairs. It's really getting cumbersome, and I need the toilet." It's At least he's got a sense of humor about it. But look, if you're one of those people who is going to threaten somebody because a game does not meet its release date, you're an ass. You fall somewhere between not knowing anything about how really anything of quality is made, or video games for that matter. But you are just a giant roving dick face if you
John,
threaten somebody. Yes.
there's a term for those people. They're called keyboard commanders.
Yes, unfortunately, they are called keyboard commanders. No, don't do that. Don't threaten
If
somebody.
if if you if you think you're a bigger person for threatening somebody on the internet, leave your house, cancel your subscription to your internet, and go act like you do on the internet to a real person and see where that gets you.
Um, oh my God, that's another thing I can't even. I'm not even gonna touch that, man. That's big ball and nope, nope. But that was our news roundup for the week.
So
We're
2015 to round up was the game of or the year of open games.
it's
So
true.
that'll carry you through 2017, which is convenient because so far we're doing 2016 is the year of delayed games, so you won't even need those games till next year, anyways.
That is absolutely correct. Now here's the thing. Um, we're just a couple of weeks from away from E3, and we're going to be talking about that a little bit near the end of the show because traditionally we do our E3 prediction show and then our actual post E3 show to talk about the way our predictions came out.
Don't forget about
But
the news in the middle.
that's exactly correct.
Little
But
E3 sandwich.
I know big with all the fixins, lettuce, tomato, mayo. I don't eat any of that shit. I just want fucking cheese and meat on my sandwich personally, but that's just me.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but Goat, you talked a little bit earlier about racing games. You brought up
Yes.
you're playing Forza again.
Hmm.
We're gonna go ahead and move on to our feature for the week, and that feature is we wanted to talk a little bit about the history of racing games and our experience with racing games.
Should we bring them behind the curtain a second and be very honest with our listeners?
What, what are we being honest? What did I miss? Jesus Christ! You terrify me. Go for what? I feel like Charlie. I'm gonna start fucking rubbing my forehead here.
Well, I mean, all right. So, longtime listeners know Charlie's not a racing game guy. Not
No, not at all.
the first game I think he's ever played racing is the Forza Fast and the Furious expansion, and that's probably about as much racing as he'll ever do in his life.
Yes.
So we may have taken full advantage of this opportunity to sneak this topic in.
That well, you know what the thing is that we hate that Charlie can't be on the show with us because this is what we do together. And if we had talked about one other particular maybe option for
But that's
our
Charlie heavy.
feature for the week, but yeah, but this is the it was the sort of feature that Charlie would absolutely want to be a part of. So we wanted to save that. For a future show where Charlie's gonna be back in town, and instead we were like, you know what, if we're gonna have to do one more show without Charlie, let us do a show where we
He
talk
doesn't
about
want to be a part
something
of.
that he does not give a racing fuck about at all, which is racing. So let's talk a little bit about that. Um, Racing in video games has a pretty robust history, probably a more robust history than people realize.
Well,
When you
sorry, way back in arcades. I mean,
yeah yeah
it's been around as long as video gaming.
yeah
I mean, it's probably I want to say, man, when the first racing game was probably like RC Pro Am in 85, 86.
Now, yeah, probably so. And I mean, if for anybody who doesn't remember RC Pro Am, it was like this arcade cabinet that had four steering wheels across it, and
Oh, that's off road.
yeah. So I mean, like,
RC Pro Am's the green one
was it?
with the overhead, and you're on the pavement, and you had like the little trucks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it was
You're
like
talking
it
about
was.
off road.
Am
Uh,
I?
Off road's the one with the big four red, blue, and yellow guy, and you have the dirt tracks, and you're jumping and hitting the
I am.
nitros.
Oh God damn it! I'm gonna have to quit. I'm gonna have to quit the show now because I have failed terribly. Pardon me. I'm gonna go and commit seppuku over there in the corner. So if I kill
No, no,
myself
no.
live on the
It's
show,
it's it's okay. It's a common mistake. It's okay. The only reason I'm saying that is because I've been trying to get the world's record at galloping ghost on off road. So
you know what? I believe in you, Goat. As a matter of fact, I think that what we need to do is pretty soon. I'm gonna have to go to Galloping Ghost while you're trying to set that record,
mhm.
and just play R. Kelly's "I Believe I Can Fly" on a boombox behind you until you fucking win, until you hit the record. Yeah,
I don't know if Doc's gonna let that slide, but we'll try.
probably not. He's gonna throw us out, and we'll never be welcome in there again. He'd be like,
We'll throw
"I
you out.
fucking regret that I did your show with you," and that'll be it. But the thing is between the two of us, Goat is the racing guy. Goat is a car guy. He likes cars. He likes racing. It's his thing. Whenever we talk about racing on the show, he is primarily that guy. So as is the case with most things where Gamerhead Radio is concerned, Goat is like the racing guy, and I am the I like racing games and will play them if it interests me or if it's a good enough game. And Charlie could not care anymore, I don't think, um, or any less rather. So
No, Charlie's I put the
that's
key in,
kind of
start the
the
car guy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Listener and viewer Dustin does say, "What about track and field on the Atari?" I think track and field was originally an NES title, but yes, technically that is a fucking racing game. You just racing with your feet.
Yeah,
Um,
they have
it's
that at the Galloping Ghost on the cabinet.
yeah.
Um, I need to find a drummer that does Gravity Blast to beat that game.
Just call Justin from Digital Mindy. He can get in there
Okay.
with his double kick drum feet and embarrass everybody. And he's a smoker too, so then maybe he'll have a massive heart attack and then just tip over. And
I don't want to kill Justin. He
no,
he, he
let's not
seems
do that.
useful.
Let's do that. Um,
But I
as
mean,
far
there's a wide variety. I mean, let's move this along. So there's a wide variety of racing games. Everything from like we said, RC program to your over the head, go around the tracky kind of thing, upgrade cheapy games from the
Mhm.
80s that we all grew up with, like pro am and off road, and those are the biggest ones that everybody knows. And then we went to 3D racing, which was like Rad Racer. Everybody's played that. Pole position.
Yep,
Yeah.
I remember. Dude, pole position. I think the two most influential games that I can remember as being racing games as a
Mhm.
kid in arcades was probably pole position and Spy Hunter. Those two games, even though Spy
Yeah.
Hunter, I probably more of an action game than a racing game.
More car combat.
I spent a lot of time playing those, and
Yeah.
then I also played Rad Racer a lot on the NES.
Hmm.
Fucking terrible at it, man.
Oh,
Just
I used to
terrible.
own that. Outrun. I used to play Outrun a lot too.
Outrun, I remember Outrun. God, it was so
Yeah.
action packed. You
They
could
just put that on 3DS actually. I've
you would
been
crash.
yeah, going back. Oh yeah, yeah. The violent crashes in a convertible and Outrun. No one would live through those crashes in a convertible.
No, not at all. But you always managed to flip out of the car, and the car would flip, not a scratch on it, and you'd land back in the car like
Yeah.
some sort of fucking bad '80s action movie.
That that that
It was like
that
Kung Fury, the racing game, is what it
yeah,
was.
that blonde should have came out a mutilated mess every time you flip that car.
Nope, nope. That's just what happens when I drive
Yeah.
on weekends. You know, that's
But
not
and then
true.
we
I drive a
you
Ford
know,
Focus. That's not true at all.
no, it's not. Your car and a DeLorean have a lot in common. Uh
No, well, the difference primarily between the two is that a DeLorean is awesome and a fucking Ford Focus is not. The Shatmobile, we call it in my household,
yes.
sadly. But yeah, so I mean, like those. I mean, you're talking about those are old, really old
Yeah.
racing
Well, I'm
games.
trying,
They kind of
getting
set
the
the
roots
trend.
down.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then we move down to like then there's the Burnouts, which is not a racing game. I don't care what anybody says.
Hold on, we're gonna come back to that shit because fuck you. First of all, fuck you, and two, fuck you, man. Um, no, but I mean, there was an evolution in arcades too that people don't realize. So
Hmm.
you started out with those classic games to start with, and then you went to, if for anybody who was arcade age or who has been able to go to a modern arcade now
Hmm.
and play older games, um, let's
The
see,
Cruising series.
Cruising USA, Cruising World.
Hmm.
Those games were huge when they came out.
Yeah. San Francisco
San
Rush.
Francisco Rush and Rush 2049 were both. I
Those games were
played.
insane.
They played so much fucking San Francisco Rush when I was a
Hmm.
kid, because San Francisco Rush was the game that had like Cruising was just fast and silly, and then
It was
Cruise
cartoony.
USA, and then Cruising World did like you could like hit like the clutch and then jerk the wheel in a position, and you would do like barrel rolls or flips and shit. So they put that in, and then
Yeah.
San Francisco Rush um, was the first racing game I can remember that put diversity into a racing game and unpredictability because you could take shortcuts and they were kind
Yeah.
of hidden and you could
Hmm.
find them, and it was just really exciting. What was the name of that fucking
We're missing the gateway to that era though.
what's that?
Ridge Racer
No, oh my god, how did we fucking forget Ridge Racer? Ridge
with
Racer was huge.
that was the very first cabinet that had a clutch and a 5-speed gearbox
Yeah, for sure.
instead of paddles.
Yeah. It's true. Actually, fuck, I
You
forgot
could
about that.
actually downshift and like power slide and all that in Ridge Racer. It was just mind boggling at the time.
The one I can't, normally I'm like a bottomless pit of gaming information. I remember this shit, but there was one fucking racing game that I could never play. I could never get down as a kid, and it was, I want to say it was like, was it Virtua Racing? Was it Virtua Racing? It
Um,
was it looked kind of like the Virtua Fighter, like the Virtua
Yeah, yeah,
series,
virtual racing. Yeah, you're
and
right.
and
Yeah,
and you had to go a sort of semi-realistic speed in order to go up through like loops. And
yeah,
if you didn't, you would like fall off. Like the weight was proper, and
yeah.
you
It
would see
was
the windshield
yeah.
crack. Yeah,
It
do you
was
remember that?
it was a stunt racer. You had to do the
I
stunts.
was
Very realistic.
flaming hot garbage at that game, like embarrassingly bad at that game. And
It took a little bit to get used to that game because
it did.
you had to know what you were doing. Like there was
And
actually like double clutching and actually
there
like
was like force feedback in
yeah.
the steering wheel too. That was a
Mhm.
little different. Most of those games had that in the arcade, but this one was a little different. Like it would, if you went up, if you hit at the wrong speed at the wrong angle, going up like a loop ramp, it would jerk the wheel to the left, and you would go further to the left, and then fucking just drive out
Yeah.
of the wheel and
It was
die.
virtually realistic.
You did the fucking dad joke this week. It was not me. It was I didn't do it.
It was really a dad joke. That was just being very blatantly obvious with it. It was super realistic, and a lot of people I noticed like if you played arcade racers, that was not the game for you.
No, no. But I kept going back to it. See, like
That's probably just your pride.
very, very small amount of backstory on my youth. Since we're talking about racing games, I grew up. For our listeners and viewers, I grew up in Mississippi, which is surprising. Most people go, like, "You don't sound like you're from Mississippi," until I do that stupid voice, and it sounds kind of southern.
See, that wasn't my first thing. You don't drive like
I
a moonshiner.
There you go. I don't drive like a moonshiner unless you put some moonshine in me. Um, I grew up in Mississippi in this small town called Biloxi, Mississippi, near an Air Force base because my father was an Air Force 24-year veteran of the United States Air Force, and so I grew up like
Everywhere.
3 miles from the Air Force Base, Keesler Air Force Base in Mississippi, Biloxi, Mississippi. I was formally educated there, unfortunately, and I grew up and knew a lot of really wonderful people there. I had the wonderful fortune from the age of about probably about 13 to 15, 17 to grow up directly across the street from our local mall. For anybody who may be under a certain age, if you lived near a mall in the like early to mid 90s, the
There were
malls
stores
were
in them.
amazing. They were like that was like mall culture. It was a huge deal. Arcades were part of that. Arcades were massive. And I was smart enough and probably obnoxious enough to annoy the people in the arcade into giving me free credits. They would just open the machine and go tick, 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 and give me free credits. I got to know all of them, and they would give me free games. And I would go in there and just play, 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 play. That Virtua Racer game was my arch fucking nemesis. I would go in there and be like, the guy that worked in there, his name was Daniel. Dan,
Mhm.
cue me up. I need some tick, 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 which probably made me sound like a like 14-year-old drug addict. He'd go in there, tick, 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 tick,
Mhm.
and I'd go in there and I would crash and die every time. And I still drive like an 85-year-old Asian woman to this day. So
Oh man.
yeah, yeah, there were that, and then let's see what else was there. Initial D was a
Yeah.
racer that was popular in the later part, mid to late part of the 90s. And then from there, it kind of went to the N64 and some other different types of racing games.
Yeah. Well, like
Not to
here,
mention,
Dustin saying Crazy Taxi,
yeah. Oh God, Crazy Taxi. Yeah,
which
yeah.
I don't consider that I consider that an automobile or a vehicle game, like much like what is that Safari Jamboree, where you're going around and catching animals and stuff like that. That's more it's more vehicle centric, but not racing game.
Yeah. No, that's true. But oh my God, I forgot about that too. That's crazy. Um, Dustin also follows that statement up by saying console games have killed the arcade. No, 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 no,
Oh no no no!
no,
You
no.
have not been to the Galloping Ghost,
Here's the thing.
or the
Um,
millions of other, or hundreds of thousands of arcades
I
across the country.
know that different people listen to this show kind of regionally in different places. So I know for a fact that outside of Illinois and the vast majority of the states in the United
Hmm.
States, that arcades are not doing well. Um, Dustin, you live in Chicagoland. You
There's
live
now three.
within proximity of. There's more than three. There's headquarters. There's Galloping Ghost. There's what's the name of the one that's out west? Well, there's Nickel City. There's
Retrocades out west.
Retrocade. There are
Yeah.
probably seven or Tokens and
Tokens and
Tankers.
Daggers. There's a new
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
There's a new one that's opening up too that I seen the doc was just promoting.
yeah. And this is all in Chicagoland.
Yeah.
Go check out Galloping Ghost first, and then go visit all of these other places, because what most people don't realize about Chicagoland is we're living in a video game arcade mecca. Galloping Ghost is now the single largest arcade in the world, and we are fortunate
And has
enough
the
to
paperwork to
be,
back it up.
yeah, within 40 miles of its location.
Yeah.
It's really an awesome thing. Everybody go support Galloping Ghost. Doc, who was on our show in April of last year, Doc is doing great things at Galloping Ghost. Go back and listen to that episode, listen to his interview, and listen to how earnest
Oh
he is
God.
about wanting to revitalize arcades. It still exists. It's a thing.
To
Love
put to
it.
put
Go
it,
do it.
well, John. If you think about it, if you think about it, I think he's put over 100 new machines up in the last year since we were there.
Yeah, well, look. The first time I went there, there were more arcade games than you could possibly play, and he just keeps expanding it and making it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Arcade games still exist, and there are racing games there too. So,
Mm-hmm.
getting back to talking about racing
Yeah.
games, let's talk about games like Arctic Storm. There are that's a racing game technically, even though you're on like a jet ski. And then there was was it
Yeah.
Hydro Thunder?
Thunder.
Hydro Thunder.
Yep. With
That's
the
a
power
water
boats.
racing game. Like these, there were
Mhm.
so many different types of racing games back in the day.
Well,
It's
there's Moto GPs, and I mean insert anything. I think there's a bicycle racing game that I played at one point in an arcade.
Why would you want to do that? That's
Yeah.
exercise. Fucking no.
Yeah. But it was different.
I like that you agree with me on that. You're like exercise bad. Um, no, the thing is that with racing games, we haven't even gotten to the part where we talked about the massive impact that Super Mario Kart had on the world of racing games, and F-Zero, for God's sakes.
Galloping Ghost has both of those, Dustin.
Yeah, listener Dustin goes back to saying he asked whether or not do any of the arcades have classics like Dragon's Lair and Tron. Yes, Galloping Ghost has both. I'm sure some of the other people.
I think
in
Token and
Chicago-
Tankers has the Dragon's Lair too, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly.
No, I think it's Tron. Maybe, I don't know. Either way,
I think Dragon's Lair was in their corner to be fixed.
doesn't matter. Go check them
Yeah.
out. It's good stuff.
Yeah. It's probably going to be there.
So, find me somebody during the Super Nintendo era that did not play F-Zero and Super Mario Kart.
Yeah.
It was everywhere, man.
Or
I
Extreme-
played F-Zero until I couldn't
Yeah.
see straight, man.
Remember Extreme G?
Mm-hmm.
That was a weird one.
Yeah. It was racing games were very popular
Racing-
at one point.
Well, they're still very popular, but they're under the radar.
But the thing is that now there's only 3 or 4 people who are doing racing games that sell.
And they're doing them very well,
that's
except
getting-
for the
that's-
last iteration of Need for Speed.
That's getting back to what we were just talking
Yeah.
about, though, about how games are not being made for the sake of making a great game. They're being made to sell copies, which is fine. It is a business. It has to happen. But fuck, man, we grew up in an age where you could play a game like Hydro Thunder at the arcade, and it's a stupid ass game. It's not even a good game, but the point is you could play it, or Arctic,
Yeah.
whatever it was, whatever. I don't remember. Where
You're talking about the one on Arctic. What is it? Arctic Blast, I think. No, that's
Maybe?
a Gatorade. No.
No.
I know what you're talking about. With the one with the wind, and you're on the snowmobiles.
Yeah, and you know what's
Yeah.
fun about that game too is in that very kitschy way that arcade games tend to do things. It oftentimes has like air blowing in your face.
Yeah. There's a fan on it.
It's so fucking stupid. Galloping Ghost gets really hot in the summertime because they don't have air. Maybe they do have air conditioning or fans.
They
I
do.
remember
They just have 500
there's
machines
so
running.
many arcade cabinets running in there that generate heat that it's like being pinched between Satan's butt cheeks in there. Totally fucking worth it. Doesn't matter.
Because they signed me up for Satan's butt cheeks. If that's it,
Ah.
John, you would meet me at
Please.
Satan.
You know
If
what? Never
Satan-
mind. I take it back. Nate, this week's episode 169 needs to be sign me up for Satan's butt cheeks. I am. You guys are gonna see it. I'm actually writing that down. I have this little notebook
All
Sign
I'm
me
saying,
up
just saying,
for
John. If Satan's
El
butt cheeks,
Diablo's butt cheeks.
if Satan's butt cheeks were like that, you would have joined me there and be like, "I'll meet you there in 20 minutes." 500 video games in his butt cheeks. Who cares what the heat?
Ugh,
Not
you've
a
made
bad way
me
to spend eternity.
you've made me sufficiently uncomfortable. I'm channeling Charlie again. I'm gonna rub my head. No,
You
so
think you're uncomfortable? What do you think Satan feels?
warm and clammy. Um, so yeah, that was that particular era
Mm-hmm. We would
of racing games.
thank you, Nintendo, for giving us the shittiest out for any series possible.
Now let's
Yes.
talk about Burnout.
Must we?
Oh yes, we must. Goat represents the more hardcore kind of simi type racer, and I don't mind an arcadey racer because almost all of the games we talked about prior to this particular portion of the conversation were arcadey as shit.
Yeah, I'm okay with arcade. I just don't like Burnout. I don't like what they did with it. It's
Any iteration of it, not even Paradise, not even Burnout
no,
Paradise, which
no,
to
just
me was a
the
fucking
I
groundbreaking racing game.
no
You
the
could do
idea
it simple.
behind the idea behind Burnout to me as a simmy person, it's all smoke and mirrors and flash and pants. There's no racing. It's all rubber bandy. It's all crap.
But what is no? I'm going to tell you something. I'm not an achievement hoarder for
Hmm.
Xbox. One of the hardest achievements I have ever earned in my life, I got from Burnout Paradise, which was called Burnout Around the World, and I'll never fucking forget it because it took me like almost a month. In another life before I had a family and a son, I would I would not be beaten by extreme difficulty levels or whatever on racing games or fighting games or first person shooters, and I would do
Oh, back
anything
when you
but
had time.
extreme achievements. Yes, that thing that I don't understand what it is anymore. Um, I did an achievement for Burnout Paradise, which you can look at my gamer fucking tag and look at my profile, and it's on there. Where I earned an achievement where you have to get a 20 times 20 boost chain in Burnout Paradise without stopping, crashing, being interrupted, bumping into something, or whatever. I know that probably doesn't mean anything without context, but feel free to look it up on YouTube if you want to see how it is done because it's really fucking hard. And I did that, and that game was truly challenging. The online multiplayer for that game was the best racing multiplayer I have ever seen because there were group challenges. There were things you could not finish without two, four, six, 8 people, and showing off and doing stunts. Amazing in that game. Being able to do things in that game where you like when you chase somebody and wrecked them. Oh my god! I just said wrecked them on the show. Uh, I should clarify that by saying when you chased somebody down and wrecked them, not wrecked them, was a very gratifying thing. And I
That's not
remember
racing.
I would go on 15-minute. Oh my! How is it not fucking racing? Because you could go
You're
on
intentionally wrecking people.
no, but you could go on races that were a couple of blocks long or miles around huge mountain stretches with all these hazards long.
Mhm.
Um, it's one of the only games I have like 130 hours logged on the 360 Xbox 360 version of Burnout Paradise. It's a good game. You've got a flaming hairy butthead. You're wrong, but you're not wrong. You have your opinion. So
Yeah,
and
I didn't get into it. It was more I don't know. It wasn't racing to me. It was more glitz and glam, and it was an arcade. It was an arcade game that just happened to have racing in it.
maybe that's what I liked about it though is that it was a callback to something like Burnout or not Burnout Paradise, San
Rush,
Francisco Rush
yeah.
and Rush 2049.
Hmm.
I still have a fucking long-standing rivalry in Rush 2049 with my like longtime age-old friend Jennifer Keller, whom I've known since I was 5 years old. We used to play Rush at the arcade, and there's a fucking fuming rivalry there. I'm coming for the rematch. It's gonna happen. You just be ready. Um, but yeah, that maybe that's why I like the game because you could
Hmm.
take shortcuts, and it was the first open world racing game where you could race anywhere. It was a huge map for the time. I thought
Yeah.
it was just really cool. Look up Burnout Paradise. It was so much fun. It's arcadey, but then there's the other side of it, which is the side you prefer, which is
Hmm.
more in depth.
Car
Um,
geekery.
yeah, maybe.
Like the Gran Turismos, the Forzas, even like the Need for Speed. I mean, it's a little arcadey on that side, but like the building your car and swapping out parts and increasing, you know, your your stats and parts and
Which
all that
which
crap.
kind of largely started with Gran Turismo, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken, right?
yeah. I've put way too many
Second or
hours.
third Gran Turismo is when it really picked up.
Second, the second one it really picked up, and then by the third one, I mean, Gran Turismo was the first one that did the actual 24 hours of Le Mans, and you actually had to do the 24 hours of Le Mans. It was real time.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Really quick, I want to take a
Hmm.
moment to interrupt our discussion because Wired Guy 101 has chimed in, uh, talking about the arcades that we were talking about. He asked, "Is there an arcade locator website?" I don't think North Dakota has any left. There is an arcade locator website, Wired Guy 101. It's arcadelocations.net. Looking into it, I don't think that North Dakota is in the list. There may not be an arcade in North Dakota, but here's what I'll say about that. North Dakota needs one. So why don't you be the proprietor that opens one up? Every state needs a fucking arcade. Go in there, do it, bring it back, man. That's exactly what Doc from Galloping Ghost did. He's doing it the right way. Go back and listen to that episode. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
you'll hear what he's preaching the gospel. So unfortunately, not Wired Guy
I
101. I don't think there's
yeah.
going to
I'd
be
love
in
to
North
say I'm
Dakota.
surprised that North Dakota doesn't have one, but
Yeah.
it's North Dakota. There's a lot of open space.
Pertinent. Getting back to our
Hmm.
discussion, we were talking about more in-depth racers, but our,
Hmm.
our listener and viewer Dustin asked, "What is your opinion on the N64 Star Wars Pod Racer?"
It was good for what it was, and I moved on in my life.
I played that game extensively. I beat it on. I beat everything. I cleared that game. It was 100% completion. I loved it. I have gone back since and tried to play it, and holy shit, is it unplayable! I
It does
loved it
not
at the
hold up.
time. Woof, it's bad. It's really bad. Yeah, it's
I
rough.
love those games, and you go back and you're like, "Yep, time was not nice to this one."
No, it was brutal. But it was a great game for its time. And
Yeah.
honestly, that's another example. We were talking about games that were really unique, that took risks and tried things. That game did something unique, and I've never played a game quite like it. I know they did like a Pod Racer sequel. I think it was on PlayStation 2. No, man.
No.
No.
That one was really good. I like the physics on it were really good and stuff like that. The wall
Mhm.
riding and all that was all there, and it was the right game for the right time in Star Wars fandom mania.
Well, you could hit a corner, and then for anybody who knows the N64 controller, you could hold the Z trigger underneath.
Hmm.
You could hold the Z trigger and then pull the stick to the left, and your pod racer would like turn, and it would just scoot in this direction instead of going straight. It would scoot, and then you could let go of the trigger, and it would slingshot in the direction. So you could do like these sharp turns and then zoom in that
That's
direction. That was
that's
pretty neat.
that's that's called drifting, John. It's called drifting.
I'm saying for a pod racer, for a
Still
pod
drifting.
racer, whatever, man. Go watch fucking Justin Lin horrible ass fucking movies.
Oh man.
So yeah, you prefer the more simulation type
Yeah.
racing
Oh
games.
yeah, yeah. I've put in literally months into builds on Forza. I'm not proud of
I
that, but I'm okay with it.
I would like to be a smarmy shithead and point out that puddin is not a word; it's a food. So yes, fix that. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
It's fine. So
Yes. Or if
yeah,
you're Harley Quinn, then puddin is the Joker. So
yeah. See, I'm working out with that.
yeah, it's good. Um,
But yeah,
yes.
I like the
So
more realistic stuff and the whole like you actually have to hit the brakes and you can't just like slide around like an idiot and like if you take a turn at 400 or 200 miles an hour, the wheels don't turn amazingly. You just shoot off the track into a wall and a fireball.
do you think that with the advent of games like Forza, which they've been doing it for a long time, where they have
Yeah.
the guided driving rails where they show you when you need to speed up or slow
Oh,
down to make a
preferred
turn
line.
properly?
Yes.
Preferred line, that's what they
Yeah,
call it.
that's what they call it.
No, preferred
Yeah.
line.
Green means go, red means stop.
Well, that's fucking fundamental, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think that has been good for racing games? Do you think it's been something that's invited people in to racing games, or do you think it is bad for racing games because it's bringing a
It's
bunch of
good.
the
No, it's good.
yeah.
It's good because a lot of people don't have that. Like I even use it still, just because being in a car virtually and being in a car, it's hard to see like your brake points. Like you're like, oh, I should probably hit the brakes here. You can't gauge the turns as well, obviously in digital world. So to have that line there and be like, oh, I literally need to slow down here because we're going to turn. It adds to the fun that you're not like flying out the track and learning the hard way. Any level racer can come in and play these games with that.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
And even like me as being like more an expert racer, like I said, I still use it just because I can't. I could do it in real life, but
I'm
I
gonna be
can't
honest
really
with you.
judge it.
I really dig that you consider yourself an expert racer. That's very cool. And by cool, I mean not at all.
Uh-huh.
But here's one thing I'm gonna screen share really quick to show people. We have photographic proof that Goat is not only an old school, like way from the fucking back in the day, tried and true racer, but that he is far cooler than everybody, including
Oh,
myself. So here, check this out.
where's this going? Oh yeah, that old truck. I remember that
Look
truck.
at him. Look at him. Like, look, man, he's jamming the fucking Elvis glasses for the recorded episode, the edited episode listeners at home. Oh, I
Hmm.
wish I could share with you the majesty of fucking Goat's photo, but I
Sadly,
mean, this is
by
probably the best picture of him you're ever gonna see.
sadly by that picture, I could tell you that's a 3500 series late 80s GMC truck.
You fucking nerd. Says the
Yeah,
guy who gets paid to dress up like a supervillain on stage.
yeah.
I
Who pays the
judge not,
guy
lest
to
ye be
set up
judged.
his stage to do that?
Yes, that is correct. It's okay. Please don't sabotage our show, Goat.
No, it's
Um.
good. You're good.
So
My
yes.
name's on it.
You know, there's not a lot that you see that comes out in the world of racing games these days. You know what I just fucking completely forgot?
Mm,
That was at the time a very important racing game.
mm.
Wipeout.
Oh yeah,
PlayStation 1 Wipeout.
that game.
Um
That game was groundbreaking because it was the first like crazy 3D like I just I don't know how many times I got frustrated that game because I didn't know which way it was which up when it was down and up because you're spinning around these tubes and you have no idea. You literally have no idea where
yeah,
you're at.
here you go, people. It looks like shit. That's what it looks like. It looks like garbage.
But
And
it'll
they
addict you.
yeah, they did some version of it for I think PlayStation Vita, whatever.
Yeah.
On Twisted Metal. We didn't talk about Twisted Metal, even though that's
Da,
not
da,
racing. It's
da.
technically
Car
kind of
combat, car combat. You're blowing each other up. Car combat.
there's a racing element to it. Race to be the
No.
last one standing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
I'm
That's
stretching
car
it.
combat. Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
but
there's tons of games we probably missed and all that, but I
oh
mean,
yeah, I'm
like I said, it's
certain
it's the
there are a
weirdest
lot.
part. Yeah, the
Oh,
weirdest
here you
part of
go.
this.
Daytona USA on the
Oh yeah, stock car racing, anything NASCAR. Yeah.
yeah. Well, no, by far the weirdest thing is there was a fighting game out there for fighting game fans called Fighting Vipers. One of the fighting game characters was the Daytona car, like Daytona racing car. Actually got up there and like fisticuffs, like its tires would punch you in the face. It was like standing
Oh man, that's awesome.
on. Yeah, no, it was
So like
absolutely.
pre-cars, where he's walking.
Yo, yeah,
Lightning
yeah,
McQueen. You remember when Lightning McQueen's
ridiculous,
walking? He's got the flat
ridiculous.
tires.
Oh yeah, here you go. I'm gonna screen share one more time just to give everybody a dead sexy idea of what that looked like. This is not a fucking Photoshop. This is what the game looked like.
This actually happened.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's awesome! Wow, he's got some hydraulics for those kind of
Yeah,
punches and
this was a
walking.
Sega Saturn game. Um,
I would play a
that's
fighting game all day long if
you
that was
know
my
what I
character.
never fucking observed with this before? That car is almost as big as the man. Where do you fit people in that car? Like, is it a clown car? You can't fit a
No,
grown
no, no, no.
ass
It's a
man
Power
in that.
Wheels. It's a Power Wheels.
Ridiculous. Anyways, um, look, the thing is that video games where racing is concerned has had a far more robust history than most people, I think, really understand or appreciate. So I mean, on top of the
If you
fact
can
that
race
we,
it, it's probably been in a video game at some point in the last 40 years.
oh yes, probably so. Um, are there, before we wrap up the feature for the evening, are there any other racing games that you can think of that we left out, or you, the listeners, anything that you can think of that we left out, um, for racing and video games?
Let me think.
This is the part of the edited show that's really great. The part where Goat thinks and it's just silence and you guys can't hear anything. It's my
Yes,
favorite
yes.
part of the show. Really, it
Well,
is.
I'm trying to think of like some deep cuts, show off some of my knowledge because I've played damn near every racing game there is.
Surprisingly, for being more of a casual fan of racing, I have probably played just as many of them as you have. Maybe not quite as many, but close. Man, really.
Now I was looking through my we'll give the fans a little bit insight here. I was looking through my list just to kind of see, um, and my Xbox 360 and Xbox One career, I've played 27 racing games.
Jesus Christ, madness.
Yeah.
I do want to give a shout out to a couple of other games that we didn't talk about just because they're embarrassingly fucking bad. Like they did a couple of like Sonic the Hedgehog racing games, the kart racers. They did oh fuck, what was it? I mean, there are some really good games we didn't cover. We didn't talk about Mario Kart 64.
Well, yeah, but
We
Mario Kart, I mean,
we didn't talk about Diddy Kong Racing, which was a good game, for sure at the time, which was a lot of fun. Kind of maybe like a little bit silly, but it was fun. Um, they did do as a mini game in one of the Mortal Kombat games on PlayStation 2, Xbox era consoles, where they did like a Mortal Kombat style kart racer that you could play online. Oh, it was stupid as shit, but it was so much fun. It was thoughtful that they put it in there.
kart racing has ruined so many franchises.
Yeah, but people
I
stopped
still want
buying
to.
it because it was crap.
I still the one I'm waiting for, and we're getting closer. The one I'm waiting for is Uncarded, the Nathan Drake story.
That's
That
might
is a dad
be
joke.
that might be the most dad joke whatever dad joked on this show, and I am the dad between the three of us, and I
Uh-huh.
haven't made that joke. Very
I
proud of
know,
you, Goat.
but you would
I
play that, would you not? Just
At
because
this
it had to be
point,
terrible.
I feel like the Yoda to your Luke Skywalker, where I've been sitting on your back going, "Dad joke or not, there is no dad joke. Try or whatever." I don't know.
I just think they've missed. Like it's like Gears of Four. They missed the whole. There's a lot of people missing the bus on clever naming.
Gears of Forza.
No, Gears of Four instead of Gears of War 4, just call it Gears of Four.
God damn it, Goat. No. We're moving on. I refuse. I
Gears of
refuse to
Forza.
let
That'd
this
be
go out
weird.
like this. Yeah, it would.
Well, I mean,
Well,
there's been a lot of
it's
weird.
just Gears of War characters driving in the
Well,
driver's seat.
Forza,
Yeah,
Forza. You do realize that Forza put the Warthog in. You can buy the Warthog and race it.
that's
Yeah,
bizarre. I don't know what to do with that.
I don't think anybody else does either. Other than leave it in your garage and go, look what I bought.
Look what I did. Okay.
Pokey pokey.
So, anyways, if nobody else has anything to add, I'm going to go ahead and close up the feature this week by saying that
Yes.
racing games, while we probably kind of feel like racing games are not very important in the now, they don't have the same kind of influence that they did. They've had a really robust history in gaming, um, and probably will continue to do so as long as we don't make it about Forza going, we've got this year's concept car in Forza, or Gran Turismo waiting 6 or 8 years to put out the next version of their game. Just
Mm-hmm.
fucking put it out.
To
Um,
just to add to that though, when racing games go wrong and they consider themselves relevant is when we get the brand new Ford GT vehicle commercial and they call it the Forza 6 trailer. That was terrible.
that was a thing. It happened for real.
Yeah, it was stupid as hell.
Don't do that. So moving on, we're gonna go ahead and go scoot on to the mailbag. From the feature here, we asked in regards to our racing game feature from Spy Hunter and Mario Kart to Gran Turismo and Forza. Do you enjoy playing racing games? And if so, what were some of your favorite games or memories while playing them? We got a handful of answers here. Mr. Jesus Gallegos, and it is Jesus, it's not Jesus. I know this for a fact because I know this person.
Wait, did the
Uh,
Jesus get a hold of us?
the Jesus, the Jesus got a hold of it.
Okay.
Motor Tune on the PlayStation 1, that
Oh.
and Gran Turismo, and he made a fucking heart. He made a heart emoji.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's a man playing to my heart.
That's right. We've also had Dustin participating in the show back and forth. He did comment on this as Garrus Redfield, saying, "Not really. However, I did enjoy the N64 Star Wars Episode 1 pod racing game. We talked about that. We liked it. It's good. It's weird. It looks like video game diarrhea now, but it's awesome." And then Will Morales commented by saying, "One of my favorite racing games is still the initial D arcade game, which we did mention.
Mm-hmm.
It helped me meet one of my best friends. We easily pumped over $400 to $500 into the game, maybe more into those machines. We would get extremely competitive and always had a blast. Sadly, the arcade is no more, and my friend has passed away. Oh my God.
Ooh,
You're
whoa.
fucking breaking my heart, Will. Jesus Christ. Oh, that makes me so sad. Clearly, I'm going to drink away my feeling. But seriously, though, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's a little weird. Let's bounce back from that.
He did close it out by saying that he will always look on those days and smile. So thank you to everybody for contributing your mailbag responses to us. Now, normally this is the part where we have a Songbird email, which we do have in holding. But before we do that, our wonderful, beautiful, handsome, dashing Technotronicorn Charlie Worthley, while he's out of town, did leave us a voicemail for the week at our Gamerhead Radio voicemail.
Well,
So
if you check your messages, we have Charlie in waiting, looking for an invite to join the show.
Oh, do we now? Oh my God, amazing! That's fucking rad as shit. Let me do.
So we're gonna skip the voicemail and just get a live one.
Yay!
A little behind the scenes there. We do communicate to each other.
That's true.
Behind a black curtain.
Absolutely so fucking like engaged by our show that I completely missed it.
John doesn't check his messages. He's a terrible person to check his messages.
I am. 1 second. Oh, it's happening. Charlie might be joining the show. Ooh.
Can we feel the love tonight? Ow.
Oh, hopefully so. Where's
That
Charlie?
was dingy.
Can you feel the love tonight? You know what the best part about this is? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to get Charlie to join because I just sent him the invite, and then we're going to make him listen to his own voicemail, which is going to be somewhere between awkward and meta. It's going to be awesome. We're going to do that.
It's going to be awkwardly meta.
Ironically, a couple of weeks ago, we had Charlie and I, and then Goat joined in toward the end of the show and was able to participate in Songbird's email. Well, now Charlie will get to participate in Songbird's
We've got this time down.
Oh, dude, it's awesome. Oh my God, a wild Charlie appears.
Hello.
Oh, wow. You're definitely not podcasting and driving.
No, definitely not.
And last week, I seem to recall that Charlie was questioning Goat about the very
Continue on I-355 south for a half mile.
Goat's just a bad influence is really all it comes down to.
It's really what it is. It's true, though. We've been working with him.
And apparently Waze is going to tell us exactly how to get to Charlie's house, so that'll be fun.
Ignore all the instructions from my GPS. La 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 la. Okay.
Charlie,
how you guys doing?
We're wonderful. How are you, sir? How was your flight?
Great. Actually, it was actually kind of a fantastic flight. I mean, coming back, it was on Frontier Airlines, which is like one of those like low budget airlines. But the flight actually boarded very quickly, left like 20, 30 minutes early, and then it was supposed to be an hour and a half flight. But like apparently all the tail under an hour. Like I'm not even supposed to have landed for like another hour. I don't think originally. So it's great.
I'm so grateful for them because now you're on the show. I also saw Mrs. Technotronicorn's head pop into frame. So hi, Shell. How are you?
I have you guys on a headset, so she can't hear you, but they're saying hi.
Okay, so we decide. Well, hold on. Before we get to this next portion, since you're joining the show sort of semi late here, Charlie, tell everybody what it was that you did with your week, and specifically where you were out of town for the weekend here.
So over the weekend, I went down to Midwest Brony Fest down in Kansas City, Missouri, and it's a Brony convention down there run by some very good friends of mine, actually, and it was good. The most interesting thing about the convention was the fact that if you guys heard at all about the tornadoes that were happening on Friday.
Not.
Yeah, it was kind of it was kind of a mess. I want to say like something like 2/3 of the guests, like the show guests, like actors and everybody, were all coming down on the same flight, and they all got stranded on a layover in Denver for an entire day. They all missed all of Friday, the entire con, and so that was unfortunate.
That is, the show must go on.
Yeah, so the entire rest of the weekend was nothing but playing by ear, and and uh, and yeah, I mean it was just figuring it out as we went. But it didn't burn down. Well, it's actually kind of funny. The um, so that actually is only one of the very many things that ended up going wrong with this con. Not the most or least of which was the fact that most cons they get like the special lanyards printed up, like like with the logo and everything on them.
Yeah, for sure.
The lanyards that they had printed up literally got struck by lightning and burned in a fire.
That is the most metal fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
Inside a FedEx warehouse, along with like 20,000 other packages. But yes,
I shall.
they say hi. And there's more, but I won't worry you guys with more con drama. But,
you know what? Save it for next week. I'm sure we're gonna have things, stories for you to tell, battle stories, as it were.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, it was an interesting weekend to be sure.
Charlie,
but it was a lot of fun though.
To play anything this week before departing to go out to participate in Pony Madness?
I did. I spent some more time on Tomb Raider. I'm about I think 76, if I remember correctly, odd overall completion. Yeah, I'm in. I actually didn't realize that. If you guys haven't played the game, if you played the last one, you'll know that it's very open worldy-esque. And just like the last one, the open world sections are like there's like instead of one giant map, it's like several medium-sized maps with like interconnecting like story paths between them. I didn't realize that kind of like the last level of the game was going to be another medium-sized open world map. So I'm kind of just going through that now and finding treasure and doing things. Again, I feel like I'm very close to the end of the game, and I could probably progress at some point. But
any varying opinions from when we talked about it a couple weeks ago, or are you going to save that for when you actually finish it?
I don't have anything different to say than I said last week, so I'll just kind of save my thoughts until I've completed the game.
Here's the too long, don't read version of that. Laura's a dirty murderer, but it's a pretty game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. We decided prior to your joining the show here that it would be really fucking weird and fun and meta at the same time to make you listen to your own voicemail. So we're gonna do that really quick because
okay.
Yes. So everybody listening at home, get ready to listen. Charlie talk to Charlie about what Charlie did this weekend in a weird plot twist. So here it is.
Hey guys, it's Charlie here. You were traveling.
He's pantomiming.
Well, I'm at a red light.
Guys.
Oh my god.
Stop it.
Charlie, you looked like one of the South Park Canadians with your flapping head and your beady little eyes.
I have spent a lot of time around Canadians, so that makes sense.
Oh my god.
Apparently, Mrs. Tetratronicorn does not like him having his hands up the wheel.
It's fair.
To quote not M. Night Shyamalan, but M. Night Shyamalan from Robot Chicken. What a twist! To have Charlie listen to his own voicemail. So that was fucking cool as shit. And weird and meta and probably the closest thing to time travel we'll ever actually see in our lifetimes. Having said that, though, Charlie, one of my favorite things about the timing of your arrival to the show is that much like Goat, it's weird. This show is fucking weird because last week Goat was returning from out of town, driving home. You were discouraging him. Now we have a juxtaposition, and the best part about his timing, his arrival, was that he arrived in time to participate in Songbird's email, which
Oh,
you,
that's
sir,
so freaking perfect.
oh,
And
it's
just to be
so
very
good.
clear, this is all green screen. I'm not really driving.
I
Yeah, okay.
don't believe you.
The sternness in your wife's voice says you are driving.
No, she's just that good of an actress.
What's the fucking road, Charlie?
I'd like to get home from Kansas City in one piece.
Now here's the part where we completely flip the script, as they say. Songbird flipped the script.
Okay.
Songbird said, "Dear non-present Technotronicorn, fooled you." Fallon, Flynn, Goat, and maybe guest. There is no guest here.
Yeah, there is a guest. We brought in Technotronicorn.
That's well, technically.
Hi, everybody.
It is Mrs. Technotronicorn who has no idea we're saying that. But
I will relay Songbird's question if it proves to be appropriate.
Mailbag answer. While I don't play that many racing games, I do love me some Mario Kart. My personal favorites begin Mario Kart 64 and Diddy Kong Racing because I had fun times racing against my mom and brother. Now, Charlie, you probably aren't aware of this because of the way that this crazy week went down. We talked about racing games and the history of racing games for our feature because we figured you wouldn't give a shit, so thus you wouldn't be missing anything.
That's excellent planning on your guys' part.
That's stellar fucking planning. You can thank Goat for that. Name an instance when you wish you had a blue shell to use in real life.
Every single day, Songbird.
Any single time a cop tries to pull me over for whatever the fuck they're going to pull me over for, that's when I want to use my blue shell.
John, he would have to be in front of you for that to work.
God damn it, don't sass me.
I can't. I don't get. I'm not the kind of, you guys know me. I'm a very calm, chill person, but I can get a little road rage. Like I keep it in, but like I've had moments where like my pulse has my pulse has risen and my blood has boiled. It's just like watching just douchebaggy drivers be douchebaggy. And so I mean I can't pick out a particular instance of road rage that made me really just wish I had a blue shell to throw at somebody's face.
Charlie, I've told you millions of times, don't follow me.
I know. I just don't listen.
You heard it here first. The Technotronicorn, a man of kindness and gentleness, underneath that beard is hiding a sawed-off shotgun. That's what hides under there. That's what it is. There's a tiny shotgun.
In all fairness, Chicagoland rush hour traffic will make any timid man say things that his mother will blush at.
It's true.
So 5 p.m.
And just because it's relevant to my recent goings-ons. Chicago driving, horrible. We all know that. The entire rest of the country on my trip a couple weeks ago was fantastic, except for Seattle, right? It wasn't Seattle that was just also awful with traffic. Yeah, drivers in Seattle also can eat a bag of dicks. But yeah, that's
He hasn't been to New York yet, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I have
been
not.
to New York.
I haven't been to New York. That's true.
That makes me cringe when I drive.
Or LA for that matter. So yeah.
Yeah.
LA is filthy and New York is overwhelming.
Yes. I can drive in LA just fine. New York's the one that I start screaming at people.
Oh man, we drew straws when we were on tour with Digital Mindy. We made Justin draw. Oh, he drew.
You guys are dicks.
Made him draw.
Oh, total dick move.
All right,
next.
What else? Yeah, what else has Songbird asked this week?
She said, "What is your favorite video game racing tune?" I already know the answer to this. It's Daytona. That's it.
I don't really have one because I don't know. I don't really listen to the music. F-Zero's alright.
Well, she means. I don't think she means from the racing games. I mean, what would be your favorite racing game tune?
Oh, I raced to Black Label Society a lot in Forza 1 when I could put my own music on my Xbox.
Charlie?
I don't know. That's a hard one. I don't know. Anything by Deep Purple?
Whoa.
That's a fucking, talk about plot twist. I wouldn't see
the
that
only
one
thing that would amaze me more is he was like, Cannibal Corpse, anything by them, Dying Fetus, a big good one. I like my death metal and my my racing in the same area.
there's also here I'll bring it back. I'll bring it back to normal for you guys. There's a Cell Dweller track that when it I remember when it initially came out, the name of the song got changed on the album when it eventually came out. I'm struggling to remember that, but originally the song was just called Baseline, and it was the song that was in the trailer for Speed Racer, and yeah, it's like whatever. I'm not gonna translate it
Yeah.
now.
That was a
But
very accurate rendition.
I'm sure. But yeah,
Thanks
that's
for your notes,
it's but yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I can think of. Shell, do you have a song that if you were going to be in a racing game, like an ideal song that you would like to listen to in a racing game? What's that?
The song.
Talk loud so they can hear you.
Wait, I have to think
Oh,
about
she's thinking.
It's that song
I-
you know that's like. Get your phone from that sound.
Oh, Born to Be Wild.
Yeah.
That's your song.
Yeah, that's
Get
Really?
your motor running.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
nice.
she's bringing the boss to racing. Well, she must get a Mustang boss while she's racing.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, apparently you have to be driving a Mustang for that to be.
Yeah, because there's
I really do.
Mustang Shelly.
there's a
Mustang Shelly. They were just singing.
That's
well, yeah, there's Shelby
That was
Mustangs.
amazing.
There's Boss
Yeah.
Mustangs. Yeah, Mustangs where it's at for that reference.
All right, what else is on we got
Oh, yeah.
this week?
The Songbird also followed up with us by saying, "You've been hired to make the next greatest racing game, but the catch is you must also incorporate the crowd as part of the experience. Sincerely, Songbird."
The crowd.
Yeah, here you go. I've got my answer already. Much like Burnout, where people like an arcadey experience,
Uh-huh.
you crash and burn out, and shit flies, and the car flies, and tires fly. What happens if the tires and cars and shit fly out and hit somebody in the head or hit somebody in the
Whoa, what are we
whatever?
doing?
Oh my God.
I'm not really sure what's happening in the car next to me. They're very
Oh my
excited to be
God.
doing it.
Do it. Tell 'em- Hey,
They're on
tell,
the internet.
tell them to say Gamerhead Radio starts now.
You're literally on the internet right now. You're on the internet right now.
God,
Yeah, yeah.
Ridiculous.
So that.
ridiculous.
Oh, hey, Verizon just told me I went over my data. That's not surprising.
That is just crazy.
So that was fun.
Somebody's drunk. So
It's Charlie.
to answer Songbird's, no, not Charlie's not drunk. They're drunk. To answer Songbird's question, to me, like whenever you crash, like parts of your wreckage would fly off toward the crowd, and they have to it switches to a control mode where it's like slow motion, and you have to move out of the way of the wreckage in order to avoid getting hit by the chunks that fly at you, or you can, for substantially less points, just pull out your phone and film the guy next to you getting hit by a piece of the wreckage, because that's what indecent people would do these days on the
Oh,
internet.
nice.
Like those people that you
Nice.
just pulled
So,
up next to, Charlie.
John-
I'm convinced they would let you get hit by
Well, I'm
a
avoiding right now just because.
John would make local Speedway 2016.
Yes. Yes.
John, I think that idea is actually fantastic. I'm gonna have a hard time outdoing that. I got nothing. I'm completely blanking on an idea. Shell, if you could think of a racing game that involves like audience participation in some way. John's idea was that like it would be like an uber violent racing game where like the cars are like blowing up and like you're in the like are you controlling you're avoiding the shrapnel from the cars? Is that the idea, John?
Yeah. Like once you
Okay.
crash into each other, or if you smash into something where a chunk of the car flies off.
You
Okay.
have to run out of the way.
Can you think of any kind of racing game that would involve the crowd? Yeah, like just imagine a racing game.
Imagine Sycamore Speedway.
Okay. All right. Okay. No. Okay. Here's Michelle's and my combined answer because I'm stealing it. Sorry. So you know how sometimes on like a lazy river they'll have like the water cannon stationed around so kids can like spray the people, which also completely defeats the purpose of a lazy river. But whatever. So there's like you're in the crowd and you have like oil slick guns or like just like I don't know, just cannons to like shoot stuff at the cars or just like mess with the drivers.
Pinkie Pie's
okay.
party cannon!
Pinkie Pie's party cannon, of course. Nobody's going to understand that reference, but yes, exactly. So kind of the other way around, where instead of the drivers going after the crowd, you're the crowd and you're actually screwing with the drivers.
Okay.
All right. Sold. Take it. Goat, what do you got?
I'd say audience participation would probably be just have all the audience members be like the pit crew and everything else, and like your spotter and everything up in the stands. Like give everybody a job, and they can man it.
See, I'm okay with this because that was the GOAT answer that I expected, which is GOAT is a sim racing guy, and you just gave the sim answer. So yes, we'll take it. Songbird, thank you for providing us with yet again another amazing set of questions with which to tax our brains. So I was going to ask now. What is it that you gentlemen have going on in the next week? Charlie just got off a plane, so I can't imagine if he's even thinking about next week. But
No,
what do you got, Charlie?
the entirety of my day tomorrow is going to be relaxing, enjoying Memorial Day. We've got some cleaning and some other stuff we've got to do around the house, and I've got to be doing some work to help prepare for the my next con, which is in 2 weeks, which is MLP MSP in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And there's a bunch of stuff I got to be doing for that too on the PR side of things. But the next tomorrow and the next weekend is going to be just a whole lot of leading for an event that we're planning that's coming up. My dad doesn't watch the show, so I can say this. It's I shouldn't say this. I shouldn't say this. Okay, I think it's fine, but Michelle says no, so I'm not going to say it. But yeah, a special event that's coming up, and then but MLP MSP is the next thing on my radar. And and then after that, I am off of cons until October, so that'll be a nice change of pace, actually.
Sleep well, buddy. Get some rest.
Seriously.
Play some video games.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, what about you,
guys? My iPad is draining battery fast charging, so I'm going to go ahead and hop off here.
Yep.
Awesome. Because I'm down at like 5%. So you guys have a fantastic rest of the show. I'm glad I was able to pop in, and to everybody that's watching and listening, I'm looking forward to being back on the show as normal next week.
Next week, E3 predictions. It's going to be good times.
Indeed. So talk to you gentlemen later.
Yep. Good night, Shell. Get home safe.
Bye, guys.
Okay. So, go. What do you have coming up this man?
I got your stuff.
That's right. He's got villain madness. I can't talk about what it is, but
I can't talk about what it is, and it's a lot of work for everyone.
Here's what I'll say to V is for Villains fans. GOAT is participating in the creation of the visual stylings of the new show. That's all I'm going to say about it. But it is awesome, and his contributions will be felt for hopefully a long time to come. Now, for me, I'm doing the same thing. I'm working on V's for Villain stuff. I'm going to be a lot of V's for Villain stuff coming up, a lot of costume stuff this week. And then,
we're very loud, but we're very quiet right now.
It's true. But that's it. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that you guys are going to see coming up. But in the next 2, maybe 3 weeks, you guys are going to start seeing and hearing a lot more for V's for Villain stuff coming up. It's going to be awesome. But that's all we've got going on. So, having said that, if you liked what you heard this evening during our live broadcast, you can find us at gamerheadradio.com, where you can listen to our actual recorded, edited episodes every week online. You can find us on Stitcher Radio. You can find us on iTunes, YouTube, Twitch, SoundCloud, or with your podcast downloader of choice. You can also find us at our Gamerhead Radio app. It's an Android app only, unfortunately, right now, but that's where you can find us if you have an Android phone. Having said that, this was episode number 169 of Gamerhead Radio. I am Jonathan Santiago Fallon Flynn.
This is new. I'm Go again.
That's right. I did it. I sprung that shit on you like a trap. This has been Gamerhead Radio. Thank you.